to have relationships, and I don't want to say allow, because allow gives the connotation that you would have to sign off on your partner being able to have friends who are platonic, but depending on what kind of platonic we're talking about, like, are we talking about posts that say stuff like, not many people can get me to smile this big? I don't know. Does it mean more because it's a male female thing? Or if you are of a same sex relationship and your partner has a best friend who's of the same sex, does it have the same sting to it? Well, listen, I say all that to say that when you are talking about setting the bylaws for a healthy relationship, I think that you have to be cognizant on how you, what's the expectations that you have? How do you level up? What's the relationship killer? How do you set the table for proper communication and what's allowed in your relationship? Well, listen, I think first things first, you got to be able to put anger and resentment out the door. Anger and resentment and jealousy and assumptions are all reactions that basically don't get us what we want or what we need. Anger, jealousy, and assumptions only create an atmosphere where you can escalate rage and you can feel threatened and you can feel assaulted. You then become the victim. But in actuality, it's just a scenario that you might have just set up in your mind. Listen, when we react disproportionately to what our present circumstance is, all we do is basically kill what is the present based off of whatever is happening in the past or what we assume will happen in the future. Toxic relationships or relationships with people who contribute less or you have mistrust with, broken promises with, broken commitments with, broken boundaries with, all of that stuff, that happens a lot of times when there are improper boundaries set in the relationship. So it's important that you are able to express proper boundaries from the very beginning, and that follow through is kind of the ingredients that you guys use towards making sure that your relationship is not only, it's almost like you're building a fence around your relationship so that you are not easily penetrated by even the influences of outside people. If you're comfortable in your relationship, it shouldn't matter that your partner has platonic friendships, right? I mean, even myself, I actually have platonic relationships with people that I've had physical relationships with. Not many, but a few. And all of them have moved on and are either married or in serious relationships. And I don't believe that their partners have anything to worry about. Well, listen, I know they ain't got nothing to worry about from my side. But I think the problem is, I wonder if they know their partner and how much they have to worry about on their side. Listen, typical symptoms of a boundary-less relationship often includes denial, dependency, lack of boundaries, dysfunctional communication, and this all serves to produce anger. I don't even know. Listen, we're unable to protect ourselves when we have ineffective communication, because then we can't set the table for getting what we need out of a relationship. It is important that you not make the assumption to expect other people to make you happy, to agree to things that you don't want. Listen, it's okay if you don't want a platonic relationship between your current beau and whoever. You just got to talk about it. It's okay to not agree to things that you don't want, because all that serves to do is have undisclosed expectations which your partner can never meet. You can't be afraid of confrontation. You can't deny or devalue the needs of what okay, so how do I make this make sense? You can't deny or devalue what you need in a relationship, because you'll never get those needs met. And you certainly can't try to control people and things over which you have no authority over. So at the end of the day, if you know that you don't have authority over who your partner speaks to, then girl, right. Trust and rely on people you can't trust and rely on people who have proven to be untrustworthy and unreliable. And you can't stay in relationships even though you continue to be disappointed or angered. So, how do you express anger effectively? Or how do you express, a difference in your relationship? Like, how would you express that effectively? Managing your emotions in a relationship is essential to any relationship working. Whatever it is you're feeling, the first step is you have to acknowledge it and also recognize how that manifests in your relationship, how it actually even manifests in your being, in your personal being. You have to identify the physical signs: unusual muscular tension, clenching of the teeth and the jaw bones, you getting hot under your breath. Listen, understanding our reaction to emotional kerfuffles in our relationship is what gives us the influence to put it back into formation. I think that if you are in a relationship and you are looking to have the duration be, you guys are looking for the long haul, it is important that you understand forgiveness, which doesn't mean that you condone or accept behavior. It means that you are letting go of anger and resentment. It is important that you have empathy for the other person in the forgiveness. And if necessary, you guys work with a counselor so you can have effective communication. Listen, relationships aren't easy. And in the heat of anger, we may overlook even our own contributions to a major fuck up in a relationship, whether it's, your partner hanging out with other people, or you guys just having miscommunication or cheateration and holleration, whatever it is. When you refuse to acknowledge your part, then you can't learn and improve the value of your relationship. No relationship is perfect and no person is perfect, but it is up to you to be accountable and responsible for what happens inside your relationship. So whatever happens in Jordan Sparks' relationship has nothing to do with who her husband is hanging out with. And whatever happens between Justin Timberlake and Jessica Biel don't got nothing to do with Alicia Wainwright. If you want to set the table for a great relationship, you've got to acknowledge you and have great communication, healthy empathy, and a path for forgiveness. Listen, I love you. Thank you for listening. I'll see you next week. Enjoy your Thanksgiving, darling. I love you for listening. Peace.